I can feel the space between us growing. I wonder still, but cannot place where it's going. What I feel before I feel no more. My heart is sinking in the flow. What more can I say?
Light is the only reason that images can be taken. Light is the only reason any of us can see anything to begin with. Without it, it's just black. It's just darkness. By introducing the light, we begin to see what is going on underneath. Hello fellow creators and welcome back to VIDEOCHILD. I am your host, Oliver. Here we try to mold a better future for our future creators. People that are delving into for the first time or maybe are just now getting into creating through photography, filmmaking, podcasting, designing, photoshopping, all of these things we want to encompass on this channel. We want to take anyone from any single level that you are at, just getting started, or maybe you've been doing this for 10 years, and turn you into a well-versed creator. Teach you something you maybe haven't seen before, haven't heard of before. Maybe my process is different than you have seen before. I'm just a simple guy who loves cameras and microphones. And it hit me this year that I really just wanted to get back to my roots. I wanted to start doing this for the fun of it and just be happy being who I am and looking at the world through my lens. To be completely frank, throughout my whole life, I always feel as if I cannot express what I mean thoroughly, not clearly enough. I think something in my head and I feel like no matter what I say, it comes out wrong. It can't truly express how I feel. But I found a couple of mediums in my life that help me express myself through writing, through movie making, through photography. So I wanted to come back here and make a channel for those who maybe are stuck, maybe need some inspiration. It's a tough place to be. And I think what tougher place to be than the very beginning when you have little to no knowledge of what's happening, what direction you want to take, maybe not even have the resources you want or think are good enough. That's why today we're going to be talking about cell phone photography. I want to teach you guys so much. I want to teach you guys about film, photography. Even lately, I've been dabbling in music a lot. You can't tell me it's not sick as fuck to just make your own soundtrack, make a sick bop that hits it up on Spotify. Come on, man. Come on, dude. You can't tell me that's not cool. Being a creator, you realize quickly that you start branching out into so many other areas. That's why when you think of someone like Billy Joel, and they say, yeah, he's a music creator, he plays instruments, he writes, like, you're like, that's insane. He does all of that by himself. Sometimes some of us don't have options. Sometimes we just want to dabble into some things, or sometimes we're alone and need to do things ourselves anyway. So you will oftentimes find yourself creeping through the cracks of other art forms. And film, photo, designing, Photoshop, music, sound effects, all of that stuff, that's usually bundled so closely together. So if you find yourself evolving or creeping towards those cracks, We will get there, and we will teach so many things on this channel, and I'm excited to get there. Okay, guys, a big issue that I hear pretty frequently from new artists, from beginners, is that they don't have the equipment, that they don't have the resources, or that their resources are finite. That what they have at their disposal are simple trinkets, things that cannot truly capture the essence of their expression. This is a tough issue to solve, because I felt exactly the same way. And it is so easy to get to the point that I am now with just $1,000 camera and some lights in my room and say, man, yeah, I can see now that it's not the camera, it's who I am. But yet when you have cheaper cameras and are at that beginner level, you feel stumped. What can I possibly do to make my photography better without spending money that I don't have? We're going to talk about what is the difference between just a normal cell phone camera picture and a higher quality picture like what I'm taking with my camera now, my Sony a6400. There are far more expensive cameras out there than what I have currently, and I would love to get my hands on some of those things, but I'm happy with what I have. I know that I am a problem solver and that I can get things done, that I work hard, and that my camera can take my imagination and make it come to life. The settings don't matter so much now that I'm here. It's funny how reversed and twisted that feels and sounds, but it's true. So yes, it is easy for me to say that now, but I promise you that it is true. That if you just learn the basics from our last couple of episodes through composition, through camera settings, through emotion, you will capture exactly what you were looking for, and just find time to save money until you get the camera that you do want, that you think can capture your expression. And you can build onto that over time with lenses and things like that, ND filters, crystals. There's a lot out there to explore, but for those of you who cannot just yet, I got you. Today we are learning nothing more than how to take pictures on your cell phone, and nothing more than that. Pretty exciting, guys. Every single picture that you saw at the beginning of this film, all taken and edited on my phone. If you guys think that's crazy, or if you guys rewind it and watch it again, you guys might think that is a little unbelievable, but I promise you, it's not impossible. And I have an old phone too. So let's dive into today's episode. If you guys remember from last episode, Emma, my friend, now girlfriend, it's kind of cool, kind of sick. I don't mean to brag or anything. She's pretty hot, she's pretty cool. Well, she and I are going to be celebrating Halloween this month by doing a handful of things, but we're going to go camping, and we're also going to go to a pumpkin patch named Jakers. We're going to take some pictures, we're going to take some videos, and when we get back here, I'm going to show you guys my process of what apps I use, what techniques I use when I'm editing them. We're going to edit some of these pictures together. That will all be in here, and you will have really cool pictures to take and edit like you saw at the beginning of this film. Hopefully by the end of this, you won't even miss a camera. You won't even think about saving up $500 for a camera from Canon. Hopefully by the end of this, you are totally happy with what you've got in your pocket right now, or what you're watching on right now, and you guys will just finish this video and just go out and take some pictures and just have at these editing apps, because I promise they're life-changing. This is exactly why I will never switch back over to Android. Some of these are iPhone specific, so I do apologize for that in advance, but there are equivalents and things like that on Android. So again, I apologize in advance for any iPhone specific apps, but again, there are alternatives that you can get on Android that do the same thing. When we're done here, hopefully your photography level will be leveled up instantly.
Frequently, I wanna treat you decently.
Tears falling down at the party. Saddest little baby in the room. Fears, tell me fears, don't get me started. I get a little gray hair for every scare you share. Those aren't meant to bend. No, those aren't meant to bend. Those aren't meant to bend. No, those aren't meant to bend. I hear your eyes and I see those cries. I hear those eyes and I see those cries. I can't be the only one who hears you. Tears falling down at the party. Saddest little baby in the room. Fears, tell me fears, don't get me started. I get a little gray hair for every scare you share. Those aren't meant to bend. No, those aren't meant to bend. Those aren't meant to bend. No, those aren't meant to bend. Tears falling down at the party.
Alrighty, folks, we are back from Jakers. It's a fun time. I've been to Jakers like every year for the last couple of years, but this time was just a little bit different. I don't know what it was. The atmosphere, maybe I'm older, but it just felt very calming and peaceful to be there. It was fun going through like these corn mazes and like hay mazes and playing with animals and petting them. So it was a good time to be had, and I'm glad we're back to discuss the picture we're about to edit together. But before we start editing, let's talk about what is the difference between a high-end camera picture versus your cell phone. Well, some main differences are that light is extremely important in both cases, but your camera more often than not will struggle to take pictures in lower lighting settings. So with high-end cameras like with what I have right now, I have more settings that allow me to adjust to low light situations. On your phone, however, it does get increasingly difficult to get less and less light. Your picture or film, whatever you are taking, needs to have sufficient light for your image to come out clear and not muddy. The second thing is that cameras, like professional cameras, typically have a higher dynamic range than your cell phone will. Dynamic range is just the ratio between darkness and lightness in pictures, so cameras will have a higher dynamic range, meaning that there's more detail. It is easier to spot detail and shading in the image. However, the best cameras in the world can only capture up to half of a human's eye dynamic range. So that's pretty cool. Fun little fact for you. We don't have anything that will get nearly as realistic anytime soon. However, despite the tiny lack of detail between the images on a camera and a cell phone, it holds up exceedingly well, and I honestly don't really care so much about the difference, as long as it takes what I want it to take, as long as it's clear, as long as it has the elements I wanted in my finished product. The final downside, which I kind of mentioned briefly with the low lighting situation, is that you just don't have as many settings, so you can't really mess with shutter speed or aperture, depth of field. These are things that you might want to mess around with, but your cell phone won't have so many options for. I do have some runarounds for some of those issues that we can talk about, but outside of those downsides, your camera on your phone is ideal. It's just portable and it's light and has extensive storage. It's on your phone already. So let's have a picture on my phone and we'll go through together and we'll edit it. So the first app that we're going to talk about together is Lightroom Mobile. This thing is pure genius. It is free, completely free, and you can make such awesome pictures in here. All you have to do is when you open it up, make an account, hit the add sign at the bottom, go to device, and then you can pick any picture that you want to edit and it will add it to your library at the bottom here. You can click it, open it up, and there you go. So once opened up, you can mess around with the settings and change it however you like. However, I have a picture from Jakers that we took, and this is before and after. Just some slight edits done. So with this picture, we can change lighting and coloring, and I think those are the two big things you want to change in Lightroom Mobile. If you go to lighting, you'll see that I messed with the contrast, lowered the highlights, upped the shadows, upped the whites, and then lowered the blacks slightly. If you go to coloring, I made it slightly warmer, a little bit more magenta. I made things a little bit more warm with the orange and yellow tones. I made the grass not green anymore. I changed it to be completely like orangish yellow, and kind of made those blues pop in the frame as well, on the bars here on the metal. So all of that is included too. As for my effects, you have texture, clarity, dehaze, vignette, and even grain. You can add so much grain if you want, but we're not going to worry about that. So I added some dehaze, which kind of adds that contrast feel. So that is basically it. You do some touch-ups and things like that, and you can take that picture, export it, and put it into another app if you would like. From here, I would probably go to lens distortions. There are lots of things that you can do in this app, but we'll go over the really basic things first, and that is coloring. You can add just a filter of color and move on. You can also add text if you would like. But the main thing that this app is known for is lighting. So you'll see that I added a little sun of light into my frame, and you can change how big it looks, the size of the light, and position it where you would like. So I would probably put it right about here. And then I also added streaks of light. As you can see, I'm messing around with those light layers here. And you can also edit everything individually with how bright the lights are. You can mess with how soft the lights are. There's a lot of customization that you can do for these. The last thing that I do want to mention, because I just love this feature so much, is an eclipse. This is so cool. So yeah, replace it. You can add just an eclipse, and I like using this for like a crown effect of light. I don't know if that makes any sense, but just watch me edit this real quick. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So there you go. Like, you get this kind of like halo crowning effect with the eclipse. So that's something pretty cool that you can do as well. Next app that we're going to talk about is also really fun. This is just like a filter app. You just process your picture through filters, but this one is called Prequel. This one's also really fun and just like can give you unique effects, like subtitles here. You got some fun subtitles and you can title it whatever you want, but let's discard those changes. Let's see. Let's take another picture, for example. Let's see, something a little bit more boring. Okay, so here's a picture of Emma and I for our Halloween party. And let's just add some filters and see like what they do, you know? Like, you can just run around and just kind of mess with filters and see what looks good. They have some cool like paper effects that you can add onto it, make it look like it's an old printer. They have some TV looks, so you can add like recording filters, multiple frames that you can use in here, or like camera displays. They have some cyberpunk stuff. And if you get the premium version, like all of these will be available to you. I just don't have the premium version. Like I said, they have some fun text ones. You can add some text like this, like a little cute movie. You make some broadcasting feeds, some news, some fake news.
You are fake news.
So yeah, Prequel's a load of fun. Again, just kind of like messing around with filters, and they have some really cool effects like ghosting effects or like echo effects, plastic wraps, mixed media, graffiti. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff on there. Lots of overlays, like dust overlays, so Prequel's worth checking out for sure. Another fun app that is not really required for editing, but is helpful to bring attention to your social media, is Before and After. This is a photo comparing app, and if you take a look here, it'll show you what edits you have done before and after with your raw photo and your edited photo. If you choose, you can do a slideshow, hit try slideshow, and you can screen record the try slideshow, and it'll just automatically wipe across. And there you go, you have a clean screen recording of before and after your photo editing. So that way when you post it like on your Instagram or something, you have a visual representation of what you have done to your picture. Another fun one is called Scroll. With this one's pretty self-explanatory. You have these templates that will cut your images up into thirds or halves or quarters. So that way when you swipe on Instagram, it will take up more than just one slide. It'll make it artistic. This one also requires a premium if you want to do more than the crazy normal. So that way when you're on Instagram, it'll just look like this. Finsta, here I come. The next app that we're going to talk about, which is a lot like Lightroom, they have interesting tools on there, but this is just for basic editing, for exposure, for color. They have some filters and things like that. But Snapseed is really easy, so we're just gonna pull up a picture. There's like a little comic book version of myself that I did. And in the tools, you have Tune Image, which is very basic stuff, just like your brightness settings, your highlights, your shadows, your warmth, all of that stuff is in here. They also have a healing brush, which is really useful. So like if there's a star that you don't want in there anymore, you can just paint it over and get rid of it. Same goes for blemishes on people's skin. If they have like a pimple or acne or like a scar or a scratch, or maybe it's just like really cold outside so their cheeks are a little red, then you could use that to like heal it, or like get rid of stray hairs that are a little obvious, things like that. They have things like drama to make it more dramatic. They have things like glamour glow to make it look more dreamy. They have a double exposure tool where you can add a second image, overlay it on top, and have it be two images at once. So yeah, there's a lot of fun settings that you can mess around with on Snapseed. And again, it's like very basic tools. So if you're a true beginner, I would say Snapseed is the first app you want to delve into. The last thing I'm going to show you is actually a trick for a long exposure you can do on your phone if you have an iPhone. If you can take long exposure photographs on your phone, I don't know if Android can do that yet, then you can do this most likely. So in your phone, you're going to take a picture, super easy. Here we go. I'm going to take a picture with my live photo on, and I'm just going to zoom in and out. Okay. So if we take a look at this picture, it looks pretty sharp, pretty okay. It's obviously a little blurry from the movement, but that's because we have it on a low shutter speed by activating that live picture. So now there's a setting where if you click on that live drop down menu, it says long exposure. So if you click that, then it will have all of that motion blur in it now, and you'll see that zooming in and out effect. So with that in mind, you can take pictures like running water and have it be very silky smooth if you have it on a tripod. So think about what kind of things that opens up to your possibilities with long exposure being an option now. And that's about everything I have to kickstart you on your journey with cell phone photography. Just keep practicing, keep playing around with settings, look at these apps, just kind of explore and see if there's other options out there if you'd like something more. I think you'll be surprised with what you can make. If you enjoyed that Jaker snippet earlier, that was also filmed on my phone. So if you did like that, next episode is part 2, where we're going to be talking about film and audio. Stay tuned for that. I'm so excited to teach you guys so much more about what you can do on your phone, what it's capable of. I think you guys are really going to love it. Thank you for all of those who made it to the end. I love you guys so much, and I hope that this was helpful for you. Please consider subscribing, hitting the bell for notifications so you hear about us when we upload again more content like this. Please like the video, it helps us out. I appreciate it. I have been your test subject, Oliver, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Video Child. Peace out.